What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibes here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibes Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. Also, I host the only online conversation in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Care. It's also co-sponsored by Dad Central, Canada's national fatherhood organization. And as part of that collaboration last year, was able to reach out to over 100,000 fathers around the world last year. As always, like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. We're broadcasting live on February 4th. I don't know if we're getting any more snow because we had enough already, but let's say hello and good morning to Mr. Ryan Knight.
Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you. And yes, broadcasting for the first time on LinkedIn Live. So shout out to our LinkedIn connections. For those that don't know me, I'm the executive director of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. We work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, figuring out what stage they're in, and then helping them create a blueprint to grow their companies exponentially. I'm an entrepreneur myself. I started the Detailing Nights, a mobile waterless car cleaning company, going to people's houses or their offices, cleaning their cars on the spot without using water and using our plant-based cleaning supplies. And we are in the genesis of 2022. The season I see spring in the horizon and we are hiring. So if you know any students if you have a child that's in high school or college or maybe out of school that's looking for a job this summer, please send them our way. We would love to show them what entrepreneurship's like by running a mini version of Detailing Nights.
All right. And this episode is sponsored by an event that's coming up called the Acbn Legacy Symposium, which is coming up on February 24th and 25th. Ryan, you may know a little bit about this. So give us a quick little rundown on the symposium.
So what I tell people is it's 2 days, I would say, of intense workshops that really allow entrepreneurs to step back and work on their business. So we have, I would say, slam dunk keynotes through Byron Nelson and Dr. George Fraser. We have 4 different pillars of your business that we're working on. So making sure your business model is fine-tuned, your target market is accurate, and your value proposition is sellable. And of course, being confident with your finances, and then building your own leadership skills and building a team of leaders around you. So again, February 24th and 25th, take some time to, I'll say, step back from the pulling every lever of the machine that you call your business and start working on it so that the machine runs as smooth as possible. And this is something to note. If you realize that you can't step away from your business, you don't trust who's in charge, or there's nobody else that you work with, this is a reason why you have to, again, look at what you're doing with your business. Have you just given yourself an additional job, or are you actually running a business that you can oversee and it runs without you doing everything? So something to consider if you're hearing, oh, Thursday and Friday, I can't spend a day working on my business. That is why you need the Afro-Caribbean Business Network.
I love that plug. Very nice. Physical and visual plug and verbal plug. 3-way plug. And again, if you want to find out more information, including purchasing tickets, the website is events at Acbn Canada. It's also there on your screen. And before we get into it, and I heard Ryan, great intro about Detailing Nights, and he said, child. So my question is, what age do you determine a child? Like some people who are like 15 wouldn't like themselves being called a child. And indirectly, that has something to do with our friend that we're going to be having on in a moment. She deals a lot with young people. I won't say child, but young people.
Good question. I would say the youngest that has ever worked with us and started their entrepreneurship little business is 14. So, and again, I'll say when my children are 14 and 13, 15, 14, I'm still going to call them my child. So, yes, okay. I consider, 12 and up.
All right. Okay. Just want to make sure we're safe and we don't get any right. Bad tweets or bad posts,
Yes.
So the week's been good. Oh, before we go any further, as always, people, We're always giving away stuff these days. If you want to win a $25 Amazon gift card or a I'm going to say poster from Frequency Event Promotions that features Black businesses, all you need to do is on most of the platforms you're watching, just type in hashtag the morning vibe and press enter, and you'll be able to qualify for that giveaway. I want to make sure I get that off right in the front. And good morning to a whole bunch of people here, like Sheraton saying good morning. Good morning, Tim Frey. Good stuff. Tim has also been at putting in hashtag the morning vibe. He wants to win more jobs. Good day, gentlemen. And frequency event promotion saying posters coming soon. So does that mean I know you're producing posters. You want us to give away posters soon too? Hey, I'm not saying, we're just saying.
And I made my order, so we're able
Oh.
to do the giveaway for the Robert Small Legacy posters. So
you
we
tell me that now.
each day of Black History Month. I told you it was going to happen. I told
Yeah,
you
but you
Black
didn't tell
History
me
Month
when.
every episode.
Can we start today?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so again, here I am. I got a co-host. I got a producer. I get these things put on my shoulders in the last minute. I'll see if I can get that going in the next few moments.
Right.
But a lot of times it's good to be first. And the reason why I'm saying that today is our friend that we have coming on today's episode was the first guest we had on the Morning Vibe. I think, was it March 19th, I believe, give or take. And it's funny because when we mentioned to her at the beginning, Ryan goes, "Yeah, you were one of our first guests." I go, "No, Ryan, she was our first guest."
Yes.
She was our first guest.
Amazing.
So I'm going to let Ryan do the introduction while I get the banner up for the giveaway that he just told me about. So go ahead, Ryan.
Well, as we talk about inspiration, especially with Black History Month, looking back at people that have forged a path for us that are here today in this generation to kind of do what we do and build off of that foundation, this woman, I feel, is one of those pillars of inspiration. And 50 years, 100 years from now, we're going to look back and Black History Month is going to be featuring. So even though they're featuring her now, I still feel like she has just begun with the impact that she's had in the Black community. Even though it's immense, I'm always a fan of our guest today, Stachen Frederick. No, let Frederick. And again, our first guest on the Dr. Vibe Show, as we're approaching 100.
No, the Morning Vibe.
Yes. Hey, true. The Morning Vibe, as we're approaching 100 episodes and our 1 year anniversary. Thank you so much for being able to be our first guest for Black History Month of 2022.
Thank you so much. It's an honor being here, getting to speak with you, wonderful gentlemen. So happy.
Good morning. And you know what? I'm going to have some fun here because we have the ability to do back channel chats when we're live. And this young lady said, cut the bio short. So, because you know what? She justifiably, she has a long bio. So, because she's done a lot of positive things. So thank you for, I'll say this at the beginning, I'll also say at the end, thank you for all you have done, all you are doing, and all you will be doing, especially for our Black youth. It's really appreciated.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Ryan, take the lead.
Well, for those that maybe didn't see our first episode and are digging into March 2021 to go check it out, could you give a little backstory on Stachen and what you do with Frontlines?
Sure. So Frontlines is a youth charity in New York South Weston, which is one of the poorest community ridings, not just in Toronto, but across Ontario. And in that as well is that in our community, there's a high population of visible minorities, specifically Black. So much of the work that we do is centered around providing culturally appropriate resources and services. One of the things that I love about Frontlines is our mission, and that is to address the pressing needs of children, of youth, of that community and surrounding communities. And while the mission is very small in just the words used, it's very large in its intended impact. Because to address their pressing needs for a community that has one of the poorest is one of the poorest ridings, you know that there's so many needs and so many different issues. And to give a level of the poverty in this community, Weston had the second highest cases of COVID at the start of the pandemic. And we know that it's interlinked with poverty, it's race, it's gender. You know, you have a high population of single parent families led by women. So you're really seeing that in this community there's a much barriers to health, to education, to employment, all those different pieces. And Frontlines is there trying to address their needs for youths between the ages of 6 to 29. So that is all the way from looking at homework programs, summer camps, employment, violence prevention, leadership. And really and truly, it comes from a place of what are also the needs of the young people. So we know from a very community development sort of framework, what are their needs, but we also want to hear from the young people, what are their needs, and being responsive to their needs.
And
Question for you, and I don't. Sorry to cut you, Ryan. How did
yeah,
you get started in this? I don't know if I've ever heard the start point. I hear all the wonderful, but how did you get? And how did the vision become
Mm.
reality?
So of front lines, or in terms of like my full community development
Your
work.
passion for community development.
Yeah, I think I always had a passion, even at a young age while living in Trinidad. I remember telling my mom at 8 years old that I wanted to go abroad to work with children. Always had that sort of framework in my head. They used to call me Florence Nightingale. That was my nickname growing, growing up. Um, but in Caribbean, when you're sort of an intelligent individual, you're pushed into certain streams. And so I was sort of pushed into, following the science sort of path, looking to go on to medical school. So I actually got a scholarship for chemistry at the University of Ottawa. And the whole plan was to do chemistry, then go to med school, and then specialize in child psychiatry. And that's when I became aware of psychology and social work. And that's when I decided to do a switch. And, getting more specific into the Black community, living in Ottawa, I really realized that there was a lack of resources for my Black community, which is similar across the globe. And so felt the need to definitely look at channeling my resources there. And in that, I became involved in an organization after graduating, that was focused around HIV/AIDS. And that's when I realized that there was so much money being pulled into the Black community, but it wasn't reaching the Black community because it was being given to white organizations.
interesting.
And here I was experiencing racism, ageism, sexism in this place, and that's where I created Braids for AIDS. Like one day I was sitting down, I was about to get my hair braided, and I saw the word AIDS pop out of the word braids, and that's how Braids for AIDS came about, and that has just continued sort of my passion in the community development work. Braids for AIDS is still alive and well. In 2020, I decided to step away from Braids for AIDS, more not being the face of Braids for AIDS, but still involved in terms of funding, but also now focusing my efforts on Frontlines and growing that charity, because my love will always and forever be with young, Black youth. So that's where my focus is.
Love that.
Very, very, very good setup for the future documentary. Go on, Ryan.
Well, and when you mention like having this love for young people, when I first met you and I said, "Hey, I heard that you help guide other nonprofit leaders with accessing grants," and you said, "Yeah, come by our building and we'll chat." And so stepping into the building, that was the first time I had been in a building run by an organization, and it just kept it was bigger than I expected. And I love that you were in charge of it. And now, how important is it for the youth that you work with to be able to see an actual physical building and know that they can go there and get the support and different levels of support?
Well, one of the things I want to mention, so when you came, I think the first time you came to the old building that we were in at 1844 Western Road.
Right.
And while it was a space for young people, Black youth to be able to come and to engage and whatnot, I even felt that that place wasn't to the level of excellence that I wanted our young people to see, because it was just this old building that was there that, okay, here's these youths coming, and definitely wanted to provide them with a much larger space. So in 2020, we actually had a collapse of the roof at 1844 Western Road. And that made me actually make this decision to move into a beautiful building that we currently have. It's still, we're still leasing it, and we're actually in a phase of where we're going to be doing a capital campaign to raise funds for our own building. But I remember when we got this beautiful, building, and we got a designer from CTV, and they came and was doing a feature on the building. And one youth came up to me and he said, "Station, I don't know if I could come into this building anymore." And that, because it was so beautiful.
Okay.
And that hit me, because it's like our youth are not accustomed seeing nice places.
And it
And
being for them.
right,
Ah,
right. And so, it's so important for our youth to have not just programming, but space and place where
mm,
they know that it's theirs. They can come, they can relax, they can share. But for us, it's our programming at Frontlines. Yes, we have our drop-in programs, just come out and hang out, play on the PlayStation, hang on the couches. But it's also a place of education and employment and other programming that would take these young people to another level. And that's my philosophy. I mean, I don't know about anybody other ED that may come after me, but it's highly important that our young people get education and they get employment, because that is how they're going to move out of poverty. And Ryan, you and I have talked about the new program that we have at Frontlines. We got $1 million grant from the federal government to help in doing employment programs for our young people. So first we train them, and then we also provide subsidies to businesses to hire our young people, because that's the only way we are going to get our young people. It's about giving them that access to jobs. There's no importance of me getting my MBA, or being involved in so many things, if I don't have the networks that will allow our young people to get access to those networks. It's not about me. Yes, I have a bunch of letters before my name and after my name, but it's also about what it does for the community that I serve.
absolutely.
Fantastic. Question for you. You have been passionately involved with the state of Black youth.
Mhm.
How have think about when you started to where you are now. What's better, what's not better, and what is the same with our Black youth?
Hmm. What I think is better is that our young people are much more aware of social issues and much more vocal in their demands, their needs, etc. That's what I'm finding, more of. Like sometimes I would have had to, pry out and try to, get things out of some of the youths. And even as the ED of this organization, one of the things that I love about Frontlines, and again why I've stayed for so long, is that I get the fancy title, but I'm still so much connected to community. So my office is, that front office. So even when the youth come from school, they're meeting me first. So I get that interaction. It makes it deep. Makes it personal for me. So, I always get to chat them up and to learn what's going on with them. So, yes, I think our Black youth are becoming more vocal in their needs. What I think that has not changed for some Black youth is, again, their access. We talk a good talk, right? We have things such as and of course we need things at all different ladders, but you hear about the Black North Initiative, and that's very much from a corporate sort of senior leadership type of feel. Let's sign the document about getting people into more corporate roles. But what is the initiative to get more Black youth in jobs? What initiative do we have to say, let's start at a very young age, in signing some sort of pledge and commitment that there would be more Black youths? And I think that still access piece is difficult for our young people to get it. And because of that, there's still elements of frustration uh, that our young people are feeling. And what stays the same? You know, I have to say they're beautiful faces, right? Stays the same. It's beautiful melanated young Black men that I'm seeing, young Black girls that I'm seeing, and they all look
So Ryan, he's
um
not talking about us about young Black men. I just wanted to make you sure I guess we're
This
out of
is
the
a
age
support
we're
team
out of the age
around
range.
them.
So
yeah. So,
Yeah.
that is what I think. We have a responsibility to our young people, to make sure that they have that access, because I could tell you, yeah, I am very fortunate to be in the job that I am, to see these faces and to give me more and more sort of conviction in the work that I do.
And so I'm very curious, what would be the ask? Because, hey, this is a video that we can send to Black North. We can send to Black Opportunity Fund. We can send to the full ecosystem of Black organizations that are supposed to be supporting Black entrepreneurs, which means if entrepreneurs are growing, they're hiring. So what would be that ask that we can directly send out to them?
I asked that they reach out to me,
Mm,
and I would love to have that conversation, and sign them up for the program that we have
yeah.
for our young people. And that is one that, again, they are getting funding, right? Because of course there are economic pieces, business decisions, that why people choose to hire X groups over others, right? And here we are providing at least some sort of subsidy in regards to that. I just see a question here, and I just
yeah,
want to
yeah,
answer.
we're gonna get to, but finish up that answer because there's
Okay.
some
Yes.
questions, and I'm just gonna
Yeah.
give you a little bit of a break, and also some comments, and we'll get you back in for questions. But go
Yeah.
ahead, complete off.
No, and the reason why I just want to brought up is because it's probably going to answer that question,
Sure,
what I'm about to say now,
go
right?
ahead.
So I think one of the things is that a lot of times, a lot of these employment programs that exist, it's only to a certain time frame that we are able to provide funding for. And so one of the things that I would want to say is that, in these conversations with organizations such as those who are connected with the Black North Initiative, is that we encourage people to have sustainable employment for the young people. Don't just take to the subsidies for the 2 months and then drop them off. Let's look at having conversations with people from the jump that we want these to be long-term types of employment, but we are providing you this sort of subsidy. Now, I understand that for many, grassroots or entrepreneurs who are, coming up, it may be difficult for some of those sustainable sort of employment opportunities, but I think it's a start, right? And see your role as a mentor. You get the young person in for two months, but can you connect them to another entrepreneur? Can you think, just don't see it as we're getting money. So I think it's having those conversations with the employers. People ask me, why it is as an ED that I'm still so highly involved in a program like that? Because most EDs, you get your funding, you hand it over to your program director and staff, and you're done with it, right? I am not like that. It's I want to have conversations. When I finish this conversation later on, I have a conversation with an entrepreneur. So I'm having those conversations to say, okay, how can we make this into something sustainable? And then I think beyond that is that perhaps as we look at the framework of um, this sort of ecosystem of subsidies or whatnot, especially if we're knowing that we want to be working with Black businesses, because I'm very Black conscious. So Black youth, I'm supporting Black businesses. It's just,
So you're
it's so,
blackalicious.
yes, Blackity Black, Black,
You're
right?
blackalicious.
If
Yes.
we're going down that continuum, it has to have support for businesses as well. And so maybe that's where we connect them to Afro Caribbean Business Network. So Frontlines does one part of the work, and then we channel them on to other resources where they can get a sort of assistance in terms of grant writing. There's loans, there's etc., so that they can build and then they can hire more, right? So I think we need to work as an ecosystem to support not just the youth, but also the businesses that we want to hire these young people.
Okay, we're gonna do a quick reset because this lady is dropping knowledge bombs. So just give her a little bit of time on here. So a number of things. So again, giveaways, giveaways, giveaways. Again, we're giving away a copy of Robert Small's legacy poster. We're giving away $25 Amazon gift card. We're giving away frequency, event promotions, calendars. All you need to do is type in hashtag the morning vibe on whatever platform you're watching and press enter, and you'll qualify for the giveaways. Comments flying in. Lots of things. Oh, frequency event promotion says we would love to help you with your building fund campaign. So we'll put up the website a few moments ago. I'll put it up again. Contact through the website. Ange G saying, we all need to know from young that the best belong to us. We are all deserving. Dream the impossible and dream the impossible dream and work towards it. Station. We got that question done. You answered it in good time. Charmaine saying, we have to empower our youth as they are our future generations. You know what? I don't think they're the future. They're the now. The way that the world is moving, they're already ahead of us. So they're living the now. A lot of times we're adapting to what they're already into. So they're the present. Charmaine also says your support is indeed building morale and letting them feel comfortable, to have a voice and give them a direction and hope. And we are caught up. So fantastic. Oh, another question came in. We are at the International Afro Society and Make It Happen International Services have our community people who lead jobs. So there's more organizations. So collaborate, people. Collaborate. Collaborate. Go ahead, Ryan.
You mentioned something around. I heard it as Frontlines being kind of the launching pad towards other resources. And one thing that we're talking about, youth as the next generation, youth is now. I feel like us that are leading these organizations can't leave it the same way for the youth coming behind us. And one thing that is definitely missing is the communication amongst all of the organizations. We talk about ecosystem, but what really is an ecosystem? And when I'm hearing about Frontlines, it's playing a role in the ecosystem. You're talking about Acbn, that plays a certain role. So if there's something that we could do is actually define out our different roles in the ecosystem. So I'm curious to find out what's your definition of an ecosystem and how do you see it? How do you see it operating effectively?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Wow. Some
Wow.
good some good thesis questions.
Coming from an MBA. Ryan, big up Ryan. Thesis questions. Boom.
Yes, yes.
Uh,
So what I would say is that the first part of an ecosystem is understanding the chain, right? And so I think is a mapping that needs to happen, right? To sort of understand, who's doing what. Now, there have been different groups in the last year, so in 2020 and 2021, such as the Black Resiliency Cluster, which is with the city of Toronto, which meets, I believe, bi-weekly or every month or whatnot, where you have a number of organizations around the table. So you're aware of who's providing food security, who is doing youth stuff, who is doing HIV stuff, who is doing vaccine engagement stuff. And at the center of that is a coordinator that would help to connect resources. So that in itself is a model, right? That can be utilized. Even in York Southwestern, we have that sort of model again, where we meet monthly, and we knowing who are the different organizations, and there's a coordinator in it, and that there is opportunities for partnership. So when you talk about an ecosystem, you talk about things. Now you're making me go back to my science days, right?
Fill up
But
the
you
chemistry.
have
Yes.
you have symbiotic relationships in the ecosystem. You have parasitic relationships in the ecosystem. And so you will have, in all sort of systems, you will have those who are not pulling their weight, right, and taking resources
Just
from the
taking. Right.
ecosystem. But there will be those who can be working together.
Mhm.
And so that is where the beauty lies, and that's where we talk about partnerships, and working together. So I think that is first is the knowledge of the organization. There must be a center coordinator, and that there must be opportunities for partnership and working together, so that we could support the community.
Where do I get a picture of? You said you go back to your chemistry days. Am I going to see you in a lab coat one day and you're going to give a master class?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah, with my with my goggles
Yes.
and my my
You'll
testing.
start teaching us.
well, we just got a mini master class from Doctor Station.
That is excellent. We
Fantastic.
love.
I would be remiss if I
Mm.
didn't ask, how has the last 2 years impacted our Black youth from your lens?
Oh man. So of course, from the perspective of education, we've seen that our youth have fallen within the educational system. There are those who are, trying their best, sort of struggling to catch up, to understand material, and they keep on trying. And then there are those who have now just become disengaged. They've tried, and they're just not engaged anymore in the educational system. We have seen issues around mental health. We've had our youths who have lost parents,
Mm.
and so you have that impact. And in fact, one of the youths that we had, and again, you're starting off with a single parent, and here's now a parent who has died. So now we have orphan
Oh,
children
wow.
in our midst.
Oh,
um
wow.
and yeah, we've had to provide additional support for these young people. One of them comes into mind, and it's he has an older brother, but the older brother has his own challenges.
Mm,
And so
mm.
just trying to provide the wraparound services for that family. It's more than just food. It's transportation. It's
Oh,
comforting words.
yeah, emotional support is huge. Like,
Mm.
you've really hit me there. A young person losing their single parent, and then
Yes.
having to be like a parent themselves for
Mhm.
for others in the family and for
Yes,
themselves at that young
absolutely,
age.
absolutely,
Wow.
absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, it's a number of it's the main pieces around education, mental health, and this new generation of parentless um children.
And so you mentioned, and sorry, there's a comment on the LinkedIn, Greg Frankson saying, "Station, I mash up the place." So,
Yes, yeah. I was gonna.
oh, you got
Yeah,
it. And but it makes me think now, because over the last 2 years, I started to question myself, like, am I doing enough? So my question would be, for Station, like, how's it been for you over the last 2 years? Now dealing a lot more with death, a lot more different types of things happening in the community, and it still feels like we're in the thick of it. So I'm curious how you've been handling the last 2 years and how you're doing.
Yeah, I 2020 and 2021, I was bubbly station, just outright bubbly. I am, dealing with the pandemic, being positive, and we saw it even in sort of the financial growth of the organization. Like when I took over Frontlines, with $66,000 in the bank account, couldn't even pay for my salary. Worse yet, for the two people that was there. Now we're $1 million organization at the end of 2022, right? So 2021. And that was because of my energy. But January came and I am hurt, right? I am tired, and I think I'm being more vocal in terms of my emotions around it. Yes, I struggle with this piece around, am I doing enough? And I think what I have had to do in my own sort of resolve is say that, what, I have built the capacity of others, that they could take the torch right now, and do the work, right? So that is what. But I did remember in 2020, I had gotten a call from a funder, of course, during the heights of George Floyd, and she wanted, and this is a major bank, and they were making a commitment to Frontlines, in terms of some long-term funding. And I ended up crying on the phone with this funder, and
Yeah.
she's like, Station, are you happy? I think, and I said to her, like, I'm struggling about, am I doing enough? But then also from the perspective of, no matter how much training that we provide for our young people, it's not enough if they go outside of the doors of Frontlines and they're shot and they're killed, or they're denied access to jobs. And so this is why I was okay. I need to be able to do more, and that's why I actually did I applied for the employment funding program. I
Right.
actually never wanted to get into employment
Right.
um,
Right.
sort of subsidies. I mean, we always have done resume writing and cover letter thing, but I said, okay, no, no, I need to do a little bit more championing on that end. But I also did some work with an organization. You all may be familiar with Orville Wallace. Um,
Yes, absolutely. Great
right?
champion. Great
Yes,
champion.
absolutely. Orville is the best. And I was doing some work with Prince Trust Canada. That's where he's with right now. And it was to develop a program for employers to go through some anti-oppressive work around working with diverse young people and giving them tools to that. So that's another end of the work too that we have to be doing. So it's not just providing them with subsidies, it's not just having them the conversations about sustainable employment. Because if these young people go into these places and they experience racism and discrimination, that also causes trauma. So we have to do that educational piece with the community, to help our young people.
Well, I appreciate you being open with us and saying, you have challenges too. And
Yeah.
everyone that's on here, even strong people struggle, right? So don't feel bad if you're so. The key thing is reach out for help.
Hmm.
That's the key thing, reaching out for help, because everyone struggles. Everyone has struggles, folks. So please realize that. There's some questions here because we're going to start winding down because action-packed episode as usual. First question out here. More Job says, "What are three essentials you think your organization needs now versus
Hmm.
next week?" Interesting question.
Um, So I think, as I mentioned before, that one of the key things that we are looking at from a much long-term sort of strategies around our organization having our own space. A lot of Black organizations don't own their own space. It's leased, is what, and we know the impacts around that, which is people, when there's things such as gentrification happening in a community, when its buildings are not owned by the people who are running businesses within it, they are kicked out. So I think that's key and important. um some other things that is saying, we are also in a process of hiring at Frontlines. That's some immediate now at Frontlines. I mean, we all know the impact of vaccine policies, and also just even COVID on our employable individuals. And so Frontlines is in the process of hiring. So I think that's some now pieces. And then in terms of, we always need resources, right? We need tutors for our young people. There's a high sort of wait list for our youth who are looking for tutors, and so that's an immediate need that we have around having individuals who would provide that support for our young people.
Right. Some more comments here. Earl is saying it's true. Let's all connect and build forward. Uh, More jobs is saying, much like make a model of a car. Each year, new car models are sold. Youth work needs to be a rejuvenation because obviously there are still gaps. What strategic partnerships can we build now?
Okay. Well, I mean, I think, as I stated, is that um, this work, youth work is not just youth work, right? It's community work. So community has to be better in order for our youth to be better, right? So we have to build partnerships with businesses. Try to build businesses with hubs, again, like Afro Caribbean Business Network. We have to build connections with the schools, right? It has to be a whole entire sort of framework, and people coming together to be able. I could talk about so many different partnerships that
That's why we're gonna have you back soon again. No worries.
yeah,
No
yeah,
worries.
to do that, right? So that question is really thing. I always say to people, don't just get into partnerships to get into partnership's sake. Make sure that you are bringing something to the table, they're bringing something to the table, and that there's one clear goal in what you are looking at
I just
achieving.
I just want to add to that. If you're going to build collaborations, ask the question, who wins? Because the calibration,
Mm,
it should not just be both the organizations, also the people that you serve, they should win also. So it's a three-way win in that regards. Earl is asking, we talked about understanding, but have you seen a census from our community to understand some of these points? So do you feel the communities
Points.
become more understanding and more engaged about the challenges of Black youth?
So I think for those who are highly involved in community work, there is some sort of deeper understanding of what our needs are. But one of the things I would say is that some organizations are not engaging youth enough to know the full depth of what they need. I think for sort of the layman person that is just at a sort of standby. We have perceptions of what we think our young people need, but I think if you engage in the community work, you'll have a better sort of understanding of what some of their challenges are.
So the president of your fan club says you're an incredible Black success story, and he's so pleased you folks are shining a light on her incredible contributions and accomplishments. Hashtag Black excellence. That's Greg Franson. So I guess he's the president of your fan club. And and Angie says it is very sad what has happened to our Black youth, especially in the last 2 years. We have to do more. Thank you for what you do. And she
Yeah,
also puts hashtag everyone struggles.
yeah. And I just want to add to the piece. I Me being open, and I think we all have our mental health, challenges or whatnot. I think it is it is naive to think that every community builder out here has not had their down moments. And I just think I just need a break. Just give me a month.
Right.
I had my
Sure.
month of pity party in January. Right now in February, I'm, back to my, blackness, right?
Blackalicious. You
And
like
Um,
then
that.
and
yes.
and I'm ready. I'm ready to go, but I just needed
Sure.
that downtime to sort of regroup and to come back, with a force. Understand more what are the challenges of the community, so I could direct my efforts. My efforts is only so limited. I no longer write $10,000 grants. I'm no longer there. I only writing grants that's $500,000
Thank
and
you.
up.
Thank
That's
you.
Solution.
that's it, right? So, it was just part of me kind of seeing where am I focusing my efforts.
Well,
Absolutely.
we would like to thank you again for what you have done, what you are doing, and what you will be doing. Also, in regards to the taking a break piece, I'm going to give you an analogy, and this is for everyone on the screen. For example, there is a very famous road race called the Indianapolis 500. Very famous race, 500 laps around a racetrack. How many drivers finish it on one tank of gas?
That's right. Can't be done.
So, what do they have to do every once in a while? They have to go in for a pit stop,
Hmm.
refuel themselves. They also have a pit crew, a team to check in with them to make sure everything's not only all right with the car, but all right with the driver. Use
Yeah.
that analogy for everyone who's watching this live in the replay. Use that analogy for your own life. You need to take those pit stops. You need to have that team of people that believe in you at your best and at your worst, because you're going to have both times. So, what Station has shared there, very important message for all of us, no matter what you are, whether you're a leader, executive director, and whether you're sweeping the streets,
Mhm.
whether you're lying in bed, because everything that we do affects at least one other person directly or indirectly.
And so I'm curious, after your pit stop, a couple things. One, how did you feel the confidence in your team grew? And two, what is on the horizon? What's happening for Black History Month? What's happening for 2022? Where are you taking Frontlines?
Yeah, yeah. So, you said something earlier about, if you can't take the time to go to this symposium, so I'm doing a plug for you. So, this symposium on the 24th and 25th, then you're not doing something right. And even before the pandemic, I deliberately made some decisions in regards to how I would, deal with my staff. Because a lot of my staff will come to my door and ask me, what should I do? And I said, no, 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 we're not going to engage in conversation. What have you thought about?
Mm-hmm.
And then I could have a
Yes.
conversation with you about
Yes.
that. So it's a
Yes.
meeting of equals. So that is how, I have set up. So even when I had to take my downtime, my staff was already in that sort of framework where it was they were telling me what they were going to do, and I'm just saying, cool, go ahead with it,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And so, and they understand how I think, and I understand how they think. So I think that is what I every year I set up for the next year. So 2021 wasn't about 2021, it was about 2022. And so, for me, I'm waiting to hear back from a $7 million grant that I wrote. I am waiting to hear back from a $3 million grant that I wrote. And so that would kind of help set the stage of what some of the programming that we would do for 2022 and beyond.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
and so, yeah, in 2022, it's it's really about setting up the framework. As I said, I am my big focus for 2022 is so that we could have a building in 2024. because we know, of course, we have to raise the funds, and then, of course, find a place and then do all the sort of renovations on it. So it's really about setting up the stage for, next,
Okay.
the next few
So
years.
I'm curious, 50 years from now, what I mentioned, like you're going to be part of Black History Month celebration.
Yes.
So what do you want people to be saying about you 50 years from now? Like, what is that legacy you'd love to leave?
See, my mother
Oh,
told me never talk about age and weight with a lady, so I won't go with that question.
Oh, she'll be turning 30 50 years from now. It's all good.
um, I've always said, on my tombstone, one day, all I would want for them, for it to be says that I lived. And in that you could read in between all of that, living. But I would say my key thing is that, I have a vision of a place for Black youth, a place of Black excellence. When I was asked by some consultants about, what I envision for my young Black people is, me walking through, round door, whatnot, and coming into this large, expansive place and seeing kids running up and down the stairs, see kids in programming on computers or whatnot. Like that is what I would want my legacy to be for my community.
All right. Good
See it.
ending
See it already.
comment on that. So, Station, thank you so much for taking the time.
Yes.
If you want to get in touch with Frontlines, the address is on the screen. I'm just gonna give some fun because the comments are just flying in. Station for mayor.
Yes.
You are a valuable asset to the community. Continue to work and advocate for the community. Quote, we need you, unquote. Self-love is very important. You do more when you can love yourself first. We have it's priceless that you see our children as beautiful. So few beyond our community see our children that way. We have thank you so much for all your hard work, dedication, positive impact you are having within our community. Let's see. By the way, it's good for our children's mental health that someone sees them as beautiful. And then we have hashtag we all matter and hashtag Black Beauty. What? What?
And
Thank you so. Well, go
just
ahead,
before
Ryan.
so if you could give the last plug for the hiring program, let people know
Yeah.
if you're running a business, corporation, what have you, what are you looking for
Yes.
in hiring?
Okay. Thanks so much, Ryan, for that. So if you are in a hiring position, or if you know somebody that's in a hiring position who is an entrepreneur looking for staffing, please reach out to us at contact@frontlines.to or station@frontlines.to. Happy to have all those conversations. It We provide subsidies, $15 an hour, minimum $15 an hour by 30 hours for up to 8 weeks, which roughly comes up to about $3,600. The more young people you have, it's, the more money and funding that is coming to you. We do allow for virtual placements if people are, don't have an actual store location, but you're looking for admin support, social media support, anything. We have amazing young people who are looking for jobs ready. I talked to a young man and he's like, Miss, I'll go anywhere. Just give me
Mm,
a job.
Let's do
all
it.
right. So is that the
And
correct email address?
yes, yes,
Beautiful.
absolutely.
All right. That
Wonderful.
is it. She has another
Awesome.
meeting, so we're going to let her go and take her well-deserved break before her next meeting.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Always a pleasure to have you,
Yes,
Station.
and please do
Thank
not be
you.
afraid to reach out to either one of us and make sure you do those. I'm going to say take midday breaks, my
Yes.
suggestion. All right?
All righty. Take
All right.
care.
Take care. Thank you so
Take
much for
care.
taking the time. Our first one, our firstie. We'll call you our firstie. All right. Take
Yes.
care. All right. There we
Wonderful.
go. What a
Love it.
conversation, eh?
Yes, yes.
And then if you want to reach out to her and especially about the employment program, the email address is there. Amazing conversation with a lady that's doing incredible stuff for many years and many years to come with the Black environment. So folks, you know what time it is. It's giveaway time. And we
Yes,
don't have a
yes.
lot of people, so I'm going to give you a minute. Now remember, we're doing 3 giveaways today. Robert Small's legacy poster, $25 Amazon gift card, and a frequency. I should probably stick this on my head during the site, like a waving calendar. Da, 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 da. Frequency event promotion. So I'm going to give everyone a minute. If you have done it already, great. If you haven't, put hashtag the morning vibe in whatever platform you're watching in the comments section and press enter, and we will enter you in the giveaway. Ryan, tell us who's coming up on Monday, if we remember.
Yes, so always happy to have this gentleman representing Montreal, Pharaoh Hamid from One Full Circle. They are working on some wonderful investments. They got a property they're working on. They're wanting to start a maple farm, I think a maple syrup farm. They also are working on a virtual community where we can just meet and have office hours as organizations or do events. And they've created OFC Link, which is an online, again, discussion platform, almost like Craigslist meets Facebook meets, what would it be? Not Snapchat, but like Instagram. Yeah. So being able to just post everything that's going on. So I'm looking forward to learning more about what he's up to.
And just to comment, next Friday, got some serious heavy hitters.
Yes.
We have coming back Craig Wellington, who is the executive director of the Black Opportunity Fund. We also have Doug Minter, management consultant for the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce. And we have Austin Walters from CIBC. For those who are not aware, CIBC has just launched, I think, Monday of this week, their loan program for Black entrepreneurs. And plus, part of that program also is $2 million available for grants. So we have all three of them coming on because it's a collaboration with all three organizations, the Black Opportunity Fund, Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce, and CIBC are getting together for that. So as you can see, next week, booked. Following week, probably booked.
It is.
Together that, booked.
We're booking into April.
And we're getting into April now. So we're great. And again, I tip my head off to Ryan, who is booking in people. We putting them in there for the best of you. Let's see. Okay, someone has put in the morning vibe. Let's make sure. I just want to make sure it showed up. Yes, the entries have gone up. Yes.
And still, if people know of amazing organizational leaders, movement leaders, politicians that you feel we could spotlight, definitely reach out to us. Put them in the comments. But let us know who you should reach out to bring on the show.
Excellent.
Feel it's a platform to get those the spotlight work.
Spotlight Pod Canada. So Thank you, Frequency Event Promotions. I did forget to put in the music, but it is in the background again. Like everyone is putting in the morning vibe. George says he met Pharaoh in Montreal. Fantastic guy. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to give one more minute for anyone to put in hashtag the morning vibe, and we're going to give the giveaways. So we already told you what's coming up next week.
And then share the morning vibe with people that are about to miss this giveaway and let them know that you're about to win something. So tell them Mondays and Fridays at 9 a.m.
Mondays and Fridays, 9 a.m. We are here. Have no fear. We are here. And as you see, we have amazing individuals that are coming on and sharing through themselves for you and the world, not just the Black community, the world. They're sharing the great things they're doing with the world, and we're spotlighting us. This is our platform and no one else. It's our platform. All right, let's get to giveaway time. Someone just put in a giveaway. What? All right, let's make this happen. So, wow, more people. All right, I'll give another pick because I just saw 2 or 3 people just put in. I'll give another minute. This is, can't miss out, folks. And also, one other thing today, this is the first time we're broadcasting live on LinkedIn.
Right, shout out.
So welcome to all the people that are watching on LinkedIn. Thank you. First time, hopefully it's not the last time. And everyone, share the word.
Mm-hmm.
Share the word. And what I'm also going to do here. Also, you can watch replays of the Morning Vibe at the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and Facebook, Afro-Canadian Business Network, and the Ryan Knight platform on YouTube. And make sure you subscribe. so you get notified when we're coming on. All right, let's do the giveaway time. For the first time, we're going to do, since they're the first, it's the first time we're going to do Robert Small first because he's brand new.
Big one.
Actually, all right. So here's our giveaway tool. You've got 30 seconds if you want to get in. We have 9 people. One more would make it double digits. I'm going to give 15 seconds and we're going to start doing the giveaways. Once I start doing the giveaways, you're too late.
Yes.
You missed out. All right. Done. Okay. This is for a copy of Robert Small's Legacy Poster 2022. Here we go. The Make It Happen show.
Boom.
So, Make It Happen show, what you need to do is, let me just put it up here. You need to email this address, info@Acbn Canada, and they'll be in contact with you to get a copy of Robert Small's Legacy Poster. Fantastic.
Congrats.
All right, next up, let's do frequency next.
All right.
Next up, frequency. Tim Frey. So Tim, actually you got 2 posters to pick up. So I think so. You got 2. So Tim, send an email to Frequency Event Promotions. I believe you've won twice, and I know you can gift that out. So there we go. Frequency Event Promotions, info at Frequency Event Promotions. It's in your hands, Tim. Because if you don't pick it up, Frequency is going to be on my back. So please pick it up. All right. And finally, you know what? I'm just going to take a quick look at something. All right. Frequencies put in the comments. Congrats, Tim. And also Frequency, we design, we promote, and we print. So that's out to everybody. Okay, final giveaway, Amazon gift card. Just in time for Valentine's Day. Here we go.
You put it in the card. You got the ebony occasions.
And so Tim, you said you gifted out, so does that mean you'll pick it up and give it, or do you want us to redraw? Put it in the comments section for us, please, Tim. So Angie, in order to get your gift card, again, send an email to info@acbncanada.com and they'll make arrangements for you to get that. So Tim, let's see what you're saying here. Oh, congrats, NJ. You'll gift out. So Tim, are you going to get the poster and then give it out, or do you want us to redraw for the poster? Because you're watching us right now on LinkedIn, which is fantastic. You're trying usually on another platform. Redraw? Okay, redraw. All right. Thank you so much for that, Tim. I really appreciate that. All right, so we're going to redraw for the poster. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm in there. Hey, Antoinette.
Antoinette Ellis, you are the winner of the poster.
Congrats.
So what you need to do, Antoinette, is send an email to info@Frequency Event Promotions. Say you won calendar winner, and they will make arrangements for you to get the calendar.
Solid.
Wow, what an action-packed day today. All right, so we're good to go. And there we go. So we are done. Wow, we made it. All right. So as I said before, if you want to watch replays, go to the Dr. Vibe show on YouTube and Facebook, Afro-Canadian Business Network on Facebook, or Ryan Knight on YouTube. We appreciate, we don't take it for granted. We told you what's coming up next week. What's coming up for your weekend, Ryan? Right quick.
Black Boys Code is doing a Black History Month celebration. I think we're over 200 registrants. So if you want to, hey, pop in, we're going to be putting it out on, of course, WhatsApp and Instagram. So tune in to see what we're doing to help Black boys get comfortable with technology.
Excellent.
What's
Excellent. Chris is saying, have a great weekend. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for watching this live on the and tell people about us. All right. Tell people about us. And I want to thank the Acbn Legacy Symposium for being a sponsor for today's epic conversation. And as I told you a few weeks ago, things are changing. You notice we're getting sponsorship. So the things that we're working on things for you, through us, for you. As always, I like to say, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourselves grace. Have a fantastic weekend wherever you're watching this. And we'll see you on Monday. And two last things. Remember to give yourselves grace and don't manage your time, manage your energy. Be well.